Hi everyone and welcome back. I am excited for this because I really want to give you an overview of all the different phonics curriculums I have tried so far and actually used, and also show you some supplemental work that I have used. And all these curriculums are very different. We have from secular to we have Christian, and we have classical style to modern, like all-in-one type curriculum. So I'm excited. So first I'm going to start off with the phonics curriculums, and then towards the end I'll show you the supplemental work. And I also plan on doing a detailed review about each of the phonics curriculums in the preceding weeks. All right, so we're going to start with Hooked on Phonics. I got the first grade edition here to show you. I have used the kindergarten through second grade. Yes, this is the older version. I guess the middle version because it has CDs. It's not the oldest one that has the cassettes. But anyways, I really like this middle version the best, and I will explain why. So Hooked on Phonics, it's orderly and the pace is steady. And if you want to go a cheap route, you can buy, this is a modern one, I'll show you. You can buy them used in used bookstores. And they come with a lot. Okay, so they have these little blend flashcards. This is first grade, so we're doing blends. They have helper word flashcards. They have letter cards. I like this first grade map reading. My son really likes this one, kind of how All About Reading has these map reading charts where you put a sticker as you read each little mini book or story. It comes with these books to read. And it also, it has stories inside to read too. One of the reasons why I like this older version as opposed to the newer version is just because the funness and the drawings are more real when you get back into the 90s, or probably late 90s. And some of the stories aren't just plain stories. They'll be like poems. Yeah, the little drawing on there. They'll be poems or written in different styles. So it's fun. So I think the new version of Hooked on Phonics have them just labeled as levels. But back then they actually labeled them as like first grade, second grade. And in the first grade level, you have these two books. And between both of them, there's about 35 lessons. And then plus there's extra books to read. So, and each lesson is only supposed to take about 20 minutes. I did sometimes break them up and I made them double. So here we have a lesson of CH and TH, and then they get to read a story. After using it through 3 kids, it does work, and it's easy to use. You don't need a teacher's guide. It's up and go. The only downside, it is a secular program. I only just didn't read probably just one story. It's a cheap program if you want to get the older version. And it comes with the extra cards and stories. So let's see. has the stories, and each time you learn about the sight words or helper words, it'll have a story to go with it that repeats one of those helper words in the story. So, very orderly. And also, the older version comes with like these chapter books that start in the first grade. So, these are optional that you can read those. Let's see. It comes with a parent guide. Not that it's a teacher's guide, but I do have some of the new books in here because I do have the new version of the Hooked on Phonics first grade and kindergarten. I just used the old one for second grade. But the new books to me just have a lot more words than these older books have. It may not look like it, but as I've gone through the curriculum, they've just kind of been more interested in the older books. All right, and so also I want to say you can order extra workbooks. So this workbook will go through all these digraphs and blends, and it says step 13 and 14. There's probably like 3 workbooks to like half a semester or something. So it will have some writing in it. That was my only downfall to this curriculum, is that in the beginning I didn't use any workbook or any other writing. So my kids just didn't get the writing in. But if you want that, you can definitely order these workbooks, and they have more activities to do. Here we have First Start Reading. This is a classical program. So even though, Hooked on Phonics is classical, this is actually going back to common sense, how they learned back in the day, which makes how they teach this very, very orderly, and it's simple to follow. It is a Christian program. Not that the stories are about God or you're reading Bible verses or anything like that, but it will have a couple words related to God. Okay, so you do get a teacher's guide with this one. And they split, this is the kindergarten level, and they split it between 4 books. And you will go from learning the letters. If you don't know the letters, you could start with this curriculum. From learning the letters to doing short vowel sounds. And then here's book C. These are their readers. So there's no mini books involved. They do have other books on their website you can buy that is like a bigger, it's a book with a bunch of short stories in it, and you can get it just with what you're learning for kindergarten in it. And those stories will have God talked about in them. Anyways, like I was saying, it was going from short letter, 3 little words, till book D. It jumps into doing SH, WH, and the long vowel words with the silent E at the end. You're just getting to silent E for kindergarten. It was, I would say that this, all these 4 books combined have about like 96, 100 lessons, and each lesson is supposed to only be 20 minutes, and that is true from what I found out. So all the way to book C, you will be doing you will still be learning the letters and doing the short vowel sounds. I think this is a great curriculum if you have a fast learner, and that is one reason why I started my third child on this curriculum, because it's fast-paced, moving. You don't do every single word family and every single blend, and you also don't have to after reading like a how to learn book that combines the Orton Gillingham style and stuff. You don't have to teach them every single thing. They will pick it up. If they know what the letter sounds like, then you can do any blend you want to. You don't have to memorize blends. But anyways, this does a great job in organizing when sight words are taught. But anyways, as you can see, these are the stories. They do this without any pictures. You have to draw the picture. They do that on purpose so that you can't guess what you're reading. But at the same time, my 5-year-old will open this up and be like, I don't want to read that. So it does get a little bit more interesting in book D. This is one of the most interesting books because it actually has a little bit of fun activities when you just, write the SH and color some things. But besides that, this is a classical curriculum. I didn't specifically search out that I wanted a classical curriculum. I'm not one who says your work needs to be done in black and white. Your work needs to not have any pictures or something like that. Just because we do live in a modern world and they get to play with colorful Legos, their TV's in color. So it's kind of hard if I say do boring work but have colorful fun. But anyways, great curriculum if you want to learn things fast, to the point. The teacher guide is really great too. It goes through some punctuation and grammar marks, and it does where you learn through hearing the sounds first and being able to recognize the sounds first before you are reading the letters. First Start Reading also comes, you can get a supplemental workbook with it. It is a little bit of some fun activities and some more writing practice of the letters. So it does have additional work you can get to kind of slow it down if you want. And they also, if you choose their whole kindergarten curriculum, they will say to do a page of this also along with their workbook. So it does add for some more little fun activities. Even though it's not in color, at least they have drawings and stuff. Okay, next one we're going to do is Generations Phonics. This is their first grade. I zoomed in, so hopefully you can actually see things a little bit better. This is Open and Go. I feel like kind of Charlotte Mason, kind of where you can just sit on the couch and read through each lesson. It is colorful and it is fun. It has 180 lessons, and each lesson is also only supposed to take 15 to 20 minutes. So this starts off with doing sound recognition and learning your letters. And this is a Christian curriculum. But the one difference of this one is you will actually see things from the Bible in this. T is for tree, that God made to grow tall. It makes apples and fruit that we can eat, one and all. So, you will see Bible pictures in here. So this is, it has some writing in here, and it does have some grammar, talking about punctuation, contraction marks. I really like, you do some time, how fast can you read this, draw a picture of your story, and you also get to read some Bible verses. I really like how this is set up. I do. It's simple and it's fun. But I would suggest, like, you know, if you're learning E, if you're learning A, I would like to have, you know, an extra practice workbook for them to do in the morning or something to kind of really get that down. But this first grade book goes all the way to long vowels. Long vowels. So anyways, I like the idea of this book. They have stories in there. They don't have any extra readers. Like I said, there's no teacher guide, no supplemental work. You're doing ED, yelled. So anyways, this goes through every single diphthong and blend in here. So the only thing is, you didn't get a C when I was flipping through, but basically once it starts the long vowels, it is just basically unorganized. So, generations, people, if y'all are listening to me, I really like this. I like the style, but just try again in a more organized way and maybe have an extra book to go along with it. So, I'm getting to the beginning for you. Okay, so there's the cue, and okay, lesson 42. You're going to start the long vowels with E, the two E's. And basically it just says when two vowels are together, only the first one says its name. It says that for the reason of all the long vowels, which is okay. You don't have to have a bunch of rules for teaching a 6-year-old how to read. And that's one reason why I didn't go with other curriculums, because as I have learned from teaching 3 so far how to read, that they will pick it up and they don't care about the rules until it gets to spelling when they're older, and then they'll be like, oh, okay. So that's why it does this. Even though they've known it all their life, they can learn the reason why later. Anyways, so they're doing A with the E, but they've also done now they're getting to the IGH, but they haven't don't go through all the long A's, then all the long E's, then all the long I's. It's just, or they don't do all the silent E's. Normally do all the silent E long words first before jumping into AI, makes the A sound. So I just thought I'd show you that. Okay, so I will probably jump into doing this book after we learn the long vowel words, when we get into learning maybe the G's. The G can also sound like a J, or when we're doing the aw sound, when it's a little bit more organized. I looked online at the Generations Kindergarten one, and it did look more organized when it came to the long vowel words. But also at the same time, I'm not sure why the kindergarten version was doing all the long vowels. Okay, we have made it to the supplemental stuff that I have used. And I'm going to save the best book for last because I was just so happy that I read it. But anyways, this is a BJU phonics practice work. This is the first grade. BJU is a great Christian curriculum. We're using it for second grade grammar and English. And this is just the phonics practice book. I tell my kid to do a page of this in the mornings. You know, something fun. He likes to do it. He says, "Oh wow, this looks cool." So whatever blend, whatever vowel we're covering, I'll turn it to a page that we're covering. So there's no teacher's guide needed, as this is purposely made as an extra practice workbook to go along with their Phonics 1 book that would have the teacher's guide and more things like writing mini books and stuff. So this is purposely just for extra practice. And I bought it because, yeah, it was only like $13 or something like that for extra workbook. But this does have like should have 100 and okay. So there's like 300 some pages that you can do in here. And the front page will be what you're learning for that day, and the back is always a review of something you've learned previously. So this is very organized. I like that it does blends before it gets into long vowels, so then you just have more practice. Fun, colorful. This has been great. I don't know, maybe next year I'll do the kindergarten of the actual book instead of just the practice. But anyways, cheap way to get some extra work in. All right, the next supplemental thing we have done is explore the code. I tried this. This is the kindergarten one. It goes through all the short vowel sounds, A-E-I-O-U, and I think C-K at the end, which is actually everything that Hooked on Phonics Kindergarten goes through. Basically, we started this, and then my 5-year-old was just not interested. And the pictures were like, he couldn't draw better than the pictures, but he felt like they just looked horrible to him. My kids are very artsy, and so, you know, my 7-year-old can draw better than these pictures. So they just didn't really like the book. But anyways, Explore the Code is great for organization. This is level 1, and so you can just choose whatever level you need practice on and get that book. So it is organized as in it can be a supplemental workbook for any curriculum you choose, because it'll go in order of the typical curriculum order. Okay, so as you can see from the cover, yeah, they just unfortunately weren't interested. So then I got Adventures in Phonics. Explore the Code was also like $11. And this is just first level. So if you want to get it all the way to, long vowels and then the sound, $11 each time is going to add up, as opposed to this is $13 and it goes through everything. Okay, so Adventures in Phonics also has like 200 some pages, and this is the first level. And I use it because it is greatly organized, and it has little teaching directions at the top. I start them I don't start them at the letters. I start them about at the blends and long vowels. I'll show you. Okay, so because they just do the blends in a very organized fashion. Oh, I've taken some pages out. Here we're doing the FL blends. So my 6-year-old is pretty good at writing the words in, tracing. Here we have the S blends. So when they go to teach, then they're doing CK, double L, S. So I liked this one. I do recommend this for, if you have an older child, you can start them in this book and go throughout this book. If you have a late reader or a struggling older child, they're going to show all the long vowel A words on one page, all the A sounds in one page. And you're going to practice that as opposed to learning them separately at one time. So last year I used this as a review. Like after we had gone through one of the phonics curriculums, then this book was used as a review the following year as morning work. So yeah, it has actually the names of things in it. It gives more detailed about why words sound like they are, and how sight words actually can have a rule to them. So they don't do sight words in this. It's just showing you like when people learn of, it's actually part of the vowel O sound, sounding like Anyways, that's a great one to use in the morning. Another fun thing I got was from Logic of English. I wanted to try this. Here we have, this is Knitting Night's phonogram and Whistling Whales. So this is the first one. It's a little bit easier. Now, it will go through like this, the OU, and how it can actually say 5 different sounds. So that's one thing about using multiple curriculums at one time, is that it can be confusing if you add in workbooks that do it differently than another one. But I just kind of wanted to try out Logic of English. To me, Logic of English is too ruly. My 7-year-old can learn how to read without too much detail and rules. But anyway, so this can say ow, or it can say, so pouting poultry should tour the country. And it gives all the different ways that this can say that. So that's one way about, oh, that wasn't in there. Shocked. Okay, so that's one way of going about it. Instead of showing all the ow sounds, the different spellings of the ow sounds, they give you OU and say how this can sound all different. So, we kind of stopped in this as I kind of didn't like that method. I'd rather see all the A sounds spelled differently as opposed to AI sounding, well, AI doesn't sound different, but you know, how TCH can sound all the different ways. But anyways, it was good. Great coloring page. We still had fun with some of these. And we definitely used it in the afternoon. Since these are different levels, you can have multiple kids doing the same thing, but on different levels whenever it's coloring page time. Another supplemental thing we did was Meet the Phonics. There is, I will say, there is a letter book to this too, also. So if you want to go down to kindergarten and down to levels, you can do that. Meet the Phonics also has the same thing, but I like this because you can just go on YouTube or buy the DVDs, and it is like 2 minutes talking about the CK, and the CK goes walking, walking around and talking, and then so after they watch that 2-minute video, then they can color this if you want. I like this, how they're actually coloring the letter sounds to try and get that into their memory, along with the picture. So this is just one of the books. There's also the harder level, and then just letters too. Another supplemental thing. Actually, I just have like 3 more. Is this LeapFrog book. So all my kids have basically jumped into one phonics curriculum already knowing their sounds and their letters really great, and that is because of LeapFrog. Their videos, their letter sound little videos are so great, and it doesn't take any effort from me. It's just like a 20-minute show that they just like to watch over and over when they're 3 years old, even 4 years old. So that's LeapFrog. And then LeapFrog also has these books. They have tons and tons of books. You can get them specifically for whichever vowel you're doing. Long vowel, short vowel, digraphs, blends. Like every specific blend has a book. So, and you can get a pen. It's like, I should have brought it in here. Anyways, you get a pen and you turn it on, and it can actually read you this whole book to you. And at the end, they have fun activities. The pen will tell you the directions, and you have to click and not, touch it, and then it says cob. Whenever you touch the pen to the book, it'll say what to do. So these are little fun things just to give to the kids when they're bored and they don't know what to do and they're still trying to learn how to read, and you can't read something to them at the moment, This was a great supplemental thing in the LeapFrog shows. They are super, super helpful. That's one reason why I never have used the preschool program. I've used like coloring books and stuff like that, but I've never tried really hard to teach them their letter sounds because LeapFrog did it for me in 20 minutes. All right, and the last thing that I am super excited to show you what really can change the way you look at a phonics curriculum, at a learning to read curriculum, any reading curriculum, is if you read one of these Orton Gillingham style, this combines like 2 different styles in here. The sound picture code also, So I don't want to tell you what this book is about, and it's kind of a little bit confusing when you first start reading it. This is a curriculum. You can use it as a curriculum, but I didn't. I just took the information in here, and I really felt liberated. I felt free to not have to worry about finding the perfect curriculum, the perfect phonics curriculum. Even though I still am looking for a perfect, like, Christian phonics, quick curriculum. But you don't have to find the perfect one, because it's a lot simpler than you think. It's a lot simpler, and this will help with spelling. It'll help your confidence as a teacher when you read something that kind of teaches you how to teach phonics. So this just really made it simple. Basically, it says you don't have to have a curriculum and just do this in paper, but I like something open and go. But the foolproof phonographic method for teaching your child to read. Super helpful. I did get this used off of eBay. So, that is all that I had to show you right now. Let me know if you want to see any of these in higher levels, and also which ones you want to see a detailed review on. And have fun teaching your kids learning how to read.